Merry Christmas. Thank you for popping in today to talk about cross stitch with me, the Stitching Owl. We have been working towards this day and it has arrived. So a short video to show you the completion of my 2 Advent pieces. Today in the Evertote Roxy Floss Code Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery Nordic Countdown, we have this picture showing children dancing around the Christmas tree in happiness. The color that we received today, for me it was a little surprising to open up the envelope and discover dark chocolate. I wasn't anticipating this. Now, I had taken a moment and watched today's video of Caroline of Evertote, and I do encourage everybody to do so before they jump into the stitching of the 25th day. And if you are expecting to perhaps not have this done tomorrow, you might want to watch this and save it so that you can notate a few changes that are needed in the pattern. There's just a couple of things, and then I noticed an omission on the chart. So I do encourage you to go over to Evertote. Now, Jacob has generously provided us with another chart on day 25. And if you think that there's going to be a reindeer in it, my goodness, you are right. It's a delightful chart, and I do expect to make an ornament out of the center section. Now, let's see my fully completed Evertote project. Here we are. So the dark chocolate was used on the 2 reindeer here. Our cheerleaders are destined to not have a hairdo. Now, these crowns were stitched over hearts. This heart over here was absent from the pattern, but it was pretty easy to know what to do. And I used pink peppermint for that color. I think that they had encouraged something that was more red, but I felt that the pink here balanced out the pink here, and I had chosen to put red at the bottom, so I thought that made sense for my personal choice. And I am just going to point out that when it came to putting in my leaves in the chantilly, on the chart, all of the leaves are in the same configuration. What I chose to do was to mirror these two to these because every other aspect of this particular pattern were mirrored. Doesn't mean that everybody else has to do that. I'm just letting you know what I did. And for the final time, I will say I've been using 100% Roxy Floss Co. and stitching on Glacier 20 count Aida with 1 strand. So now the question is, how am I going to fully finish it? And of course, I am going to send a picture of it completed to Caroline of Evertote, as there is, of course, some prizes in connection with the stitching of this Advent that are absolutely generous. Now, the other stitch that I've been working on is the Tiny Modernist. And yes, I was able to get it completed as well. And the thing that was added this time was, of course, the Christmas stocking, because it would have been filled on Christmas Eve. So I'll just pan back so that you can see the entire thing. I am totally delighted with this. And I hope that others will search out the Advent banner by the Tiny Modernist, perhaps next year, when it isn't exclusive to a needlework shop in my particular city. So absolutely delightful. With regards to my moment of gratitude, today I'm going to say, I am thankful for you. The people that are watching and commenting and listening to each of my videos, I do thank you, for without you, these wouldn't happen. And the friendships that are growing are just so beautiful. And I do know that in 2025, I will be reaching out to people and stitching with them so that I can learn more about you and put a face to the names that I have seen so often in this past month. So, thank you. And yesterday, for my piece of music, my goodness, I'm having to stop and think. Ah, yes. The melody that I talked about being so old it's classified as an anonymous composer was What Child Is This?, also known as Green Sleeves. And of course, it is about the baby Jesus who would hypothetically be born at this point. There is conjecture about which date it truly was, but December 25th is the day we celebrate. A number of you made logical suggestions for what I would be playing today. I had a Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Oh, that was a good one. Even O Christmas Tree, Joy to the World, and of course, the one that I've chosen is We Wish You a Merry Christmas, because indeed, that is what I do. So please listen to my final Christmas piece. So we've reached the end. So that means that I will provide a planning video at some point in the next little while. And then in 2025, we will be back to the twice a month videos. And they have typically been on the first and third Sunday of the month. On New Year's Eve, there is a 12 by 12 that is a Zoom being hosted by Sandy of Stitchin' with Sandy. And I know that I will be popping in and out that day. I don't think I can manage all 12 hours in a row, let alone the 15 that Sandy miraculously does for all of us. She's very generous with her time, and she would love to have many people pop in. So I hope that you will join us that day. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best of Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and love from the Stitching Owl. Bye-bye for now.